Gem Show in Bangkok, and we're looking at all the different precious and semi-precious stones. And I'm here with Navratan from Manihar International, who's basically been a gem dealer all his life, and in the tradition of the Indian system, his great-great-grandfather was a gem dealer, and he's originally from Jaipur, Rajasthan, and he has an uncle or a brother who has an office in Hong Kong, and another brother or uncle who has an office in Madras and Chennai and Jaipur and Bangkok. And basically it's quite common with the Indian gem dealers where they have an extended family across the world, Frankfurt, London, and they all trust each other and can deal in very expensive gems with each other. And Navratan is unusual because not only does he sell ruby, but he's also the specialist that treats the ruby to enhance its beauty. And that's a point with Ayurvedic astrological gemstones that's very critical. And I'd like to explain that, years ago I remember buying lovely red rubies that visually look identical to this material here, and I would pay around $2,000 a carat, which would be a wholesale price, and now you can see the price very neatly in the sign that says $10 a carat. And the difference is Navratan's skill that makes them look so beautiful using, I guess an oven you'd call it, or a furnace? What do you call it, an oven that you heat them in?
Oven.
He heats them in an oven. What temperature do you heat them to?
It's around 1,400 to 1,700.
Between 1,400 and 1,700 degrees Celsius. He gets the ruby that comes from ruby material that comes from Madagascar and is very included, and he heats it at that temperature, and that dissolves all the inclusions into the main crystal body, and at the same time it melts the alignment of the molecular structure, but it keeps the beauty of the crystal very much there. And then because there are fissures and cracks in the Madagascar ruby material, which is the biggest ruby field in the world, then do you dip it in glass or do you spray it in borax, or how do you do it?
You put in the borax and the sprayed glass.
You spray the glass on and then it melts in. Okay,
Inside
so
have the fractures, they have the clean up by the powders.
do you use a vacuum pressure cooker, or it just
No,
naturally goes in?
Naturally
Just naturally goes in. So now when you spray glass, I guess you're spraying silica or
Silica.
Any lime with it, or just silica? Pure silica. So he sprays the very hot ruby when it's at that temperature.
Is the starting from the 400? We start from 400
Okay.
to start up to 1,500, 1,600. Then after we turn back.
Slowly.
Yeah, slowly.
Very slowly. Yeah. Okay. So he sprays the ruby material that's been heated up to 1,500 degrees, and it slowly heats it up, slowly cools it so that the glass doesn't fracture. And then you repolish the gem.
Yes, you can polish, recut again, anything, no problem.
So, but do you do this
heat
to a
in the
faceted
direct,
gem
the
or just the raw crystal? The rough. Oh, so you don't do it to the actual cut faceted stone.
No. After we can cut. That's it.
And then you put the glass on after it's faceted, and then you
No. First we put in the rough inside. When we heat the by rough, inside we put in the lead glass powder. Then after inside have the fractures, they have the clean up by the lead glass powder.
Right.
And then the color, the inclusion all gone.
Exactly.
And after the luster will become light.
Okay, but do you repolish it? You must repolish it.
After we make the cutting,
Yeah. Okay.
perform cutting everything, then after we make the polish.
Okay. And okay, great, thank you. By the way, Navratan, being a traditional name, means 9 gem. That's his first name. That's how seriously your family takes its profession. Where he calls his first name Navratan, which is of course very similar to Navaratna, which is another cultural way of saying it. So you can look at this incredible selection now. To think that one of these stones, unheated, untreated, would be $5,000 I'd be holding in my
Cannot
hand.
get the $5,000.
At wholesale.
$20,000 cannot get.
Yeah. Navratan would gladly take that money for me, but I think I prefer to pay his advertised price. And do you also put the heat diffusion star sapphire on the. You do this as well?
No. We are doing also this one. This is all the natural sapphire. We put in the color. Means the diffuse color.
So you heat diffuse the color
Yeah, you
into.
heat.
What chemical do you use? Titanium oxide or?
Yeah, oxide.
Sorry?
Yeah, titanium oxide.
Titanium oxide. You put in the onto the natural base sapphire material, and then to get the 5-star effect, let's find a good 5-star.
6-star, all 6-star.
Or 6-pointed star, is it? Actually, they're doubly refractive 6-pointed
No,
stars.
this is lights.
Oh, it's the light. That's right. There's different lights coming. So you heat it to what temperature to get that stuff?
This around 700 to 1,300.
700 to 1,300 Celsius, depending. So that's really, and these are becoming very popular now. They're far more perfect generally than 99% of what nature can make for a star sapphire. So moving further down this really professional display, you're going to notice huge rubies that would be unheard of many years ago. I mean, this would be very...
The certificate here.
Right, and of course he advertises that it's heated, which is not something that most gem dealers do. But Navratan is obviously, professional and sells competitively in that way. As we move further down the counter, you'll notice that when the rubies get a lot smaller, this is generally indicative of unheated ruby crystal material. And down below you've got the African bright fancy colours that are also heated, except for the front, which are the stones are more pale. Those 3 trays are unheated there. And we're going to move around further around these people. And look at something completely different. These are Sri Lankan blues and very large stones, unusually large stones that Navratan has. Some yellow, very large yellow sapphires, Christopher cat's eyes, white sapphires, and more yellows. Now, it's interesting, I've been talking to other dealers here today, and you'll notice at the end of the counter here some very dark yellow sapphires. And I've spoken to quite a few dealers here who've emphatically explained to me that these are not beryllium treated, and they'll generally say they're heat treated, but Navratan, I really enjoy his company because he knows more and he tells it as it is, and he's saying that these are definitely beryllium oxide treated, and they're not heated to a high temperature, so they'll still have inclusions in them which fool people who are perhaps lesser gemologists, because they'll think that they are not heated because there isn't a frisbee effect around the heated inclusions. And this deep color, yellow color, is originally these sapphires are a very, very pale color, and they become a very deep,
very dark color. Is the black
dark,
color.
yeah, dark yellow
Black
color because of the beryllium. And how the diffusion process in them goes about 1 millimeter into the stone.
Yes.
Yeah,
But this is not diffusion.
it's not diffused
This
with
is not diffusion.
beryllium.
This is not the diffusion. This is only heat treatment
Oh.
with the beryllium.
Okay, with beryllium.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I call heat diffusion then, with
Oh.
beryllium. Diffusion is when you put a chemical on the outside of a crystal and it penetrates into the stone maybe 0.5 millimeter. And then that's diffusion. So
No, this is not a diffusion. This is the America, they give the wrong decision always. This is not a diffusion. Diffusion means that we put in the color anything, but we don't put any color inside.
no, not inside on the surface.
We create the surface, no put any color.
But you're saying you use beryllium.
Yes, beryllium. Beryllium, when we go inside the beryllium, the color, they change the color.
Exactly.
Yeah, they change the color.
But the beryllium
Because
only
the-
penetrates the surface.
If you have the dark color inside, the blackish one, they
Yeah.
take out, they turn come the yellow.
Right. But you're adding a chemical.
No, only
You're not. Oh,
we
it's a
don't put
natural-
any color.
It's a natural beryllium
Yeah,
in
natural.
the sapphire
Yeah,
that's,
natural.
that's changing its chromatic ligands. I understand. Okay.
No
great.
put any color, anything. No.
Okay, so it's already got a lot of beryllium in it that hasn't
Yeah.
heated to the right temperature to be created that chromatic addition. Okay, great. Great. And
This is all from
now
Sri Lanka.
these, if you look at this tray here, these
This
are
is the
unheated.
natural.
natural sapphires, and notice how pale they are compared to the heated stones next door to them. And they're very beautiful, lovely white sapphires. They're probably wholesaling at 300-400 a carat. And then these yellow sapphires are often thought of as being as natural because they're more pale, but in fact they've been heated as well, and they can tend to lose their color after a year or two, and that's commonly the problem with heated sapphires. These dark ones probably won't lose their color because they've got so much beryllium in them naturally, beryllium oxide in their crystal structure. And that pretty much sums it up, and a very impressive display from someone who's obviously been doing this for decades and decades. How many hundred years has your family been gem jewelers?
Maybe around 110 years.
110 years. Great. So, okay, well, thank you so much,
Thank you.
Navratan, and from Bangkok.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.